Points if anyone remembers what scene in the movie that song is from. I'm pretty sure Matt does.
Well, I haven't seen the live action movies in a long time.
I don't know, that really. I mean, I haven't either. In that, in the scene that song is in, it's burned in my brain. Like I can remember it pretty vividly.
I think the only live action movie I enjoyed was Bumblebee.
I mean, I get it, but I mean, the first one wasn't that bad, especially compared to what came later.
I think Spielberg was wrong in letting Michael Bay take over.
Mm,
Bay can do spectacle, but story he falls very short on.
yeah, I'm not gonna deny it, but like, anyway, this isn't a retrospective about the movies. This is a retrospective about the IDW comics, and this one's a bit of a double feature. Do not worry though. This isn't gonna be a longer show because as we're only cover because what we're covering to get today is Escalation and Spotlight Shockwave. Now the Spotlight series is interesting because it would be one shots that would focus on a specific character. So, Matt, since you're more familiar with the ins and outs of the IDW universe, like what was the main function of the Spotlight series beyond just giving attention to a single character?
Basically, it was also to put explore storylines that couldn't fit in the 4 issue miniseries.
All right, yeah. Now, Spotlight Shockwave isn't the first one, but there's a reason we're covering it.
Basically, it's all about the mysterious ore that was found in Infiltration. Expanded the story a bit in Stormbringer, and the origin is, of course, Shockwave,
Mm-hmm.
because involve uh, Shockwave's the big master plan guy.
Shockwave is a huge player in the IDW universe. This is probably going to be kind of a little bit of a surprise if you're mostly familiar with his character through the cartoons and maybe the movies. Movies where he's practically a non-presence. Since I mean, like, but cartoons, like he's usually just playing like a subordinate role to Megatron in some capacity. Whereas in the comics, he's a much more active player. Like not just in IDW, but even back in the Marvel comics.
Marvel, Dreamwave, IDW. I think any comic series would have Shockwave as this this giant threat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, IDW decided that Shockwave's personality also meant that that Prowl would have to be the Autobot version of Shockwave, which does not work at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have. Are we gonna make this a thing where we have to see how long we can go without mentioning how dirty IDW did Prowl?
Well, they did a lot of dirty things.
All right, now I just gotta track down write down the Spotlight issue because I'm not gonna I don't have it on hand. It's in one of those collections, and I can't remember which one it was.
Volume 1.
Okay, volume.
And actually, Shockwave was the first Spotlight.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
The first one pop. Really, according to. Of course, it's gonna say Blur. It's doing it in alphabetical order. Okay, so he was the first one that was actually published.
Yep. Transformers Spotlight #1.
Okay, so I was completely wrong.
It happens.
Alright, okay. I gotta make...
As long as you're not Starscream levels of wrong.
I can... Oh, I can do that. I'm gonna need... I gotta pull up something before I can put this up. Where is... tools. No, that wasn't it. I had to download... I did install a reader app for this. I just need to find... Where was the... Could have sworn there was something for the thumbnails here somewhere. Oh, not. Can they just let me pick the page I want to go to? They're making this real... They're just giving me more busy work than I need here, man. Oh, here it is.
Well,
oh, I found it. Even if it takes me a little bit, I get there eventually.
yeah.
Alright. Okay, so I got 140. Ah, here it is. Oh, that ain't it. That's not... Oops, I'm sorry, that was wrong. Wrong again. Ah, here it is. Alright, so... Here it is, the cover page for Spotlight Shockwave. Shockwave, Frozen Wasteland, and we see some dinosaur-shaped things in the background. So, you guys do the math what that means. And I just remembered Matt needs to see it too.
Yep, and one thing you're going to notice is that the Dinobots don't have the robotic design. They have the Beast Wars kind of designs.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Oh! This is... At least for this cover, the art is by Nick Roach and colors by Josh Burcham. This is off to a good start.
In fact, Roach is the one who draws the issue.
This is off to a very good start. Because Nick Roach is one of my favorite Transformers artists. "600,000 metacycles ago, I see the future, a Cybertron exhausted, depleted of natural resources, a dead world. I decide to do something about it." So, if you guys remember in Stormbringer, Thunderwing contacted a bunch of Cybertronian scientists about the ecological collapse of Cybertron and how something needed to be done about it. And if you guys remember, we pointed out Shockwave was absent.
This is the story of what happened to him,
Yeah.
which may or may not include the Dinobots.
Yeah. I do so unencumbered by emotion or sentimentality, growing new subroutines, dedicated solely to the core issue of survival. Ultimately, I initiate a program dubbed Regenesis, which was something that came up in Stormbringer towards the end, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah. I consider structure and form, action and reaction, cause and effect, but I neglect to factor in one fundamental universal constant: chaos. The one thing you can't plan for. I tell no one. I already know I will be ignored. My warnings drowned out in the clamor of civil war. First I stockpile raw energon, then I refine and distill that into a potent element, catalyst. The end product is loaded into special warheads and launched into space. Distant planets with a specific geological profile are targeted and seeded. Then I wait. And much later, I turn proactive. So what we've gathered so far, Shockwave went behind Megatron's back and sent a bunch of energon to other planets.
Of course, he wouldn't be the only one to go behind their leader's back.
Well, I think we probably should like address this because like Starscream is the famous one when it comes to betrayal. Well, but Megatron does not Megatron. Shockwave. Like Shockwave had an iconic betrayal run in the Marvel comic where he took over leadership from Megatron because he is so dedicated to logic. He figured out that he was better fit to lead the Decepticons than Megatron was. In fact, I think like Decepticon leadership always kind of being a bit on the unstable side was sort of a running theme in the Marvel comic, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah, because if it wasn't Megatron, like there was also Shockwave, and I think Ratbat took over for a while and actually ran it really well.
Surprisingly, considering his role as a cassette tape.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, if you are coming from like the cartoons where you're used to Megatron more or less like having an iron grip on the Decepticons, and about the only thing he has to watch his back for is Starscream. The comics kind of show that he's, even though Megatron is on his like the Decepticon, they kind of like their ranks are filled basically with snakes. It's like they're not as unified as the Autobots are.
There are times where the Autobots aren't as unified though. There are times where Cup had openly dissented with Optimus Prime's decisions.
I'm not saying it can't happen, but like on a moment-to-moment basis, I'd say like at least as far as the comics are concerned, the Autobots have much more stable leadership.
Yeah.
And if anyone mentions what just happened in the Skybound series, we're not counting that. Alright, next page. Without proper regulation, the Energon reaction will inevitably spiral out of control. From this point on, I'm committed. There is no going back. Megatron will brand me a rogue, a traitor, but such considerations are moot. In the war I envision, one of dislocation and attrition, resources will become paramount. Regenesis will ensure that I control the balance of power. Ultimately, I serve only one master, pure logic. As I just pointed out, anyone, and now we get to Simon Furman's favorite characters. Anyone have the faintest idea what he's doing down there? Not a clue, Snarl. The high concentrations of energon in the atmosphere are masking his movements from our scanners. It's gotta be connected, right? I mean, you just don't stumble across a planet with that kind of compatible profile. To be perfectly honest, Swoop, all that matters is that he's alone and vulnerable. I smell payback. Grimlock is, by the way, Simon Furman has named him his favorite character. He really, really loves this guy. You didn't know that? I'm surprised.
Oh, I knew that. Why do you think he makes it extremely obvious with Grimlock taking center stage in the final issues of G1 Marvel series, Generation 2, War Within, War Within 2.
Yeah. So yeah, the Dinobots are gonna be joining the fight. And it's because they've got a grudge with Shockwave.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm surprised Infiltration didn't have Grimlock in it.
Really?
Yeah, because of how much Simon Furman likes him.
Do you think he honestly couldn't figure out a way to fit him in, or was he just straight up told he couldn't use him?
More like he has plans for him and wanted to do something that made sense for the Dinobots.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what the story is going to have.
Yeah.
Thing is, I don't see Furman as a type to let characters he likes dictate how he writes his story.
He's not gonna just indulge. He's not just gonna indulge his own taste. He's gonna do what he thinks is best.
Yeah, and Dinobots don't really make sense when it comes to the Cold War style fighting the Autobots and Decepticons are engaging in.
Well, no, the Dinobots are straight up a blunt instrument. There's like nothing subtle about them.
That and the dinosaur.
That's what I meant. Like they're just like there is nothing subtle about them. They just go in and they wreck it, and they just wreck shit. So yeah, they were trying to get a cache of energon on that Shockwave had, but yeah, it blew up, and Prime told Grimlock to let it go, and of course, because it's Grimlock, he's not gonna let it go.
Would he ever?
We might have to explain this a little bit, because again, if you're coming from the cartoons, you're probably used to Grimlock just being a dumb brute. In the comics, like especially under Simon Furman, no, he wasn't. He wasn't like that at all. He was actually a lot smarter. It's just that Grimlock really doesn't as Grimlock hates Decepticons more than he likes the Autobot cause. Would that be accurate to put it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I saw like one
Yeah.
yeah, I saw like one video talking about like the War for Cybertron games that put it really neatly. Like Optimus wants to save lives, Grimlock wants to find an enemy to fight.
Well, Grimlock also tells Starscream in the War of N, where that version of Grimlock was formerly a Decepticon,
Yeah.
that he's thinking out about because he likes the Decepticons less. And in that version of Grimlock, seems to have a grudge against Starscream.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but like as far as like IDW, like would this be kind of more in line with how he was written in the Marvel comics? Because in the Marvel comics, like he had a bit of cunning to him, but he sort of downplayed his intelligence because he saw it as a weakness.
Yeah.
It's like he's only with. It's like I guess the real question you really have to question like why is he with the Autobots if all he cares about is just fighting an enemy? Like he may as well be a Decepticon.
Well, he's not the only one. In Sandstorm Spio, he's also an Autobot that prefers combat.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of Autobots that are more comfortable in the war zone than in peacetime. So
Yeah, I know. Like Warpath, it's in his name.
yeah, yeah. The biggest misconception about the Autobots is that all of them are pacifists. No, some of them just love fighting too. It's just that they don't like what the Decepticons are doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Grimlock's a particular special case just because he's like one of the few that will openly get in Optimus's face.
Huh.
Face and challenge his authority, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a bit of tension there. Yeah. So Grimlock took the Dinobots to Earth to go fight Shockwave. And like right now, and it looks like, yeah, I mean, I'd already kind of suspected it was on prehistoric Earth, but yeah. Doesn't...
I don't know what gave you that idea.
I mean, no people. You know, and if you... Considering he sent Energon and that clearly affected the development of Earth, does that basically mean Shockwave is God in this universe?
No.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Somehow I doubt he'd try to take advantage of that, though.
He'd probably be more appalled at being seen as a god.
Probably.
Not because of ego, but because logic dictates to him that there is no god.
Oh, I killed a mammoth. And the Dinobots are... And this is what Matt meant by the Beast Wars design. I mean, they're gonna basically have techno-organic shells to protect them, to sort of blend in with the environment, which Grimlock doesn't like. And it also shields them. Yeah. Grimlock is not okay. Okay, actually, no. Grimlock's probably talking about like force shields, but yeah, it doesn't look like they can make it match with the techno babble that I'm not gonna bother reading here. He's got. This is the only way they have a chance. But they're gonna have. But Grimlock wants a cooler form to transform into, which you guys all can see where this is going.
Spoilers. It's also spoilers for the Generation One Marvel comics, as
Yeah.
how the Autobots come in.
Yeah, in fact, this is kind of. I don't know if Furman was working on the comic at that point.
No,
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like a remake of that, though.
at least he wasn't on the American side for Generation One Marvel comics.
Yeah. I mean, was that? I think that might have still been early enough in the comics life that there was only the U.S. version out.
It was during the first 10 issues.
Yeah, like the UK version doesn't come till much later, right?
Think so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, like,
Well,
I mean, is it really spoilers for a comic that's over 40 years old at this point?
well, Transformers comics also hit. There are a lot more of them in the UK because of their weekly release schedule.
Didn't they think they might have done like a smaller page count because there's like no way they're getting 20 pages done every week. At least I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
No, I think they were just full size comics.
Really? Wow. God damn, the 80s comic industry was a different place.
Yep.
So,
Honestly, it wouldn't be impossible, but be harder.
more demanding, definitely. I mean, God knows what. I mean, look at what they do to a manga artist in Japan.
Yeah, though it'd be a lot easier with Marvel because you got all these different artists and writers working together.
Mm-hmm. I'm just kind of amused that Shockwave is calling down his ship with a key fob.
Huh.
Boink, boink.
Well, it
Boink, boink.
an interesting note about the Dinobot ship.
Yeah.
It's named in the Grimlock one spotlight issue, and it's a reference to the Generation One series.
We'll we'll get to that eventually.
Yep.
So the fact this ship isn't coming down, Shockwave knows something is up. Okay, does this count as teleporting? Dinobots! Spelled with a Y.
Well, yeah, because they're not the Dinobots yet. Since it uses have to use modern human lingo.
So yeah. So yeah, all transform into dino forms and into beast mode and attack. So yeah, like I said, I think this is kind of like a remake of the Marvel comic story, because in that one, after the Ark crashed on Earth, like the Shockwave and Wave, I think you're gonna have to jog my memory. It's a little hazy because all I've got to go on is basics videos. Mert.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna need to jog my memory on how that went down in the Marvel comic.
Basically, it's around the same way. Vague, except that I think it was a natural volcano that takes them out.
Yeah, I remember that they all get buried in a landslide. So I'm just trying to remember, like, the Dinobots were like the first to wake up after the Ark crashed, but I forgot how Shockwave got on Earth. Because I don't think he left Cybertron originally.
Well, either way, it is one hell of a splash page.
Oh, yeah. Nick Roach does not slack in art.
No.
This. Like I remember Nick Roach actually, he is a bit of a fan of the Marvel comics, so I would not be surprised if if this is kind of like a tribute to that moment from it.
More likely.
Yeah. And they fight, 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 and they fight. They've got hidden weapons inside their beast modes. And it looks like Shockwave didn't even remember them at first, and now it's just clicking why they're attacking him.
Yeah, it's funny how he just doesn't. All he's about is his mission.
Yeah. Well,
Anything else?
Yeah.
Anything else doesn't click.
I mean, that's funny and also in character. Like at first he's just getting his shit rocked by a bunch of Autobots, and he's like, "Who the hell are you guys?" And it's like, "Oh, right, I remember now." That's like I love it. Like another kind of similar moment in this was like in the Gotrek and Felix novels from Warhammer. Remember where the Skaven Gracie or Thankwell like had Gotrek and Felix like captured on the ropes, monologuing about how they were the cause of everything that went wrong in his life and how he was gonna make them suffer, and then Felix just asked, "Who are you?" And when he realizes his arch enemies don't even recognize him, he completely loses it. Like, stuff like that, I am a sucker for moments like that just because of the inherent comedy. It's like, don't even... I don't even... What the hell did I do to you? Because it's like, you matter so little... You mattered so little to me, I don't even remember you.
Man.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Dinobots are going up against Shockwave. He might be a single Decepticon, but he's one of the most dangerous ones.
Yeah. Despite being a scientist, he's also the most dangerous.
Yeah. So Shockwave decides to get serious and just starts thrashing them. And yeah, like they are How do you feel about them going with this classic mode?
I think it works.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy seeing a giant gun floating.
Yeah, but it's also Generation 1.
I get it, yeah. And the blast is enough to melt the skin off of them.
Unfortunately, Hasbro will never make Transporter guns again. They can't even do the Steel Series Megatron as a gun.
Yeah, well, that's because of laws in the U.S. that are really restrictive around toy guns. Like, if you're making a toy gun, it has to unambiguously be a toy. It cannot look like a real gun. Like, there has to be no doubt that it's a toy. That's why Nerf guns look the way they do.
No, there are toy guns that look like guns. You're allowed to have them as long as there's an orange tip on them.
Oh yeah, yeah, those ones too. But as far as making realistic replicas, like those are pretty much illegal.
No, I've seen them at Meyer in the toy section.
No, I know. That's what I meant. Like, you can put an orange cap on it, but like as far as like a real,
I don't think anyone would have a problem with there being an orange cap on there as long as it's classic Megatron.
yeah, it would look really weird
It's just
though.
it might look weird, but it's still better to have a more accurate Megatron toy for a movie that was based off the original toy.
Devil's Advocate, the tank is better. I'm gonna.
Well, I'm not going to argue that. It's just that if you're going to make merchandise based on the anniversary
Uh,
of
yeah, that's right. That's right. This year's the 40th anniversary of the first movie.
yep.
But which, by the way, I did not plan. I did not plan this little retrospective around. It just happened that way.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it is a bummer. It is a bummer that we're not gonna, in all likelihood, see a re-release of the original one. I mean, at least Shockwave probably has a chance with his original mode, because that doesn't look like any gun that's ever been made.
No, they decided to do no guns. So he's more of a space battle cruiser or something like that.
Eh, space, some kind of science fiction vehicle, like
Yeah.
like in Prime, he was like a Cybertronian tank, and Hank, but yeah, like I forget what they did for like Dark of the Moon. So yeah, so Shockwave.
I don't think any vehicle mode zone in Dark of the Moon.
Yeah. So Shockwave is completely curb stomped off the Dinobots, but Grimlock is too pissed to quit.
Yeah, that's Grimlock.
He's like, what happened? is what happens when you combine Hulk's strength with with Wolverine with Wolverine's bad boy persona. He is the Autobot too angry to go offline.
When you think about it this way, in the Marvel Generation 1 comic, Grimlock was Wolverine, Prowl was Cyclops.
That's almost too freaking perfect when they put it that way.
And when you think about it, Prowl has been character assassinated, just like Cyclops.
I would argue Marvel has done way worse to Cyclops than IDW ever did to Prowl.
I don't know.
It lasted It lasted longer with Cyclops.
Well, yeah, because Marvel controls Cyclops, controls what they do with it.
Yeah.
We have yet to see Prowl in the Image comics. Aside from
you mean Skybound?
Yeah, Skybound is Image.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's part of Image.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just okay. Like I'm just saying. We had IDW, and the appearances were pretty sporadic. Like they were because Prowl had to share space with so many other characters. Meanwhile, there were multiple X-Men titles running for years that did Scott Summers dirty.
I'm just glad that Transformers is part of a franchise that's not tied to any single publisher.
Yeah, for better and for worse. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it might be controversial for me to say, but I think the franchise is in better hands of Skybound than IDW.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Skybound's already done something really stupid just to generate some headlines, but you can.
Well, some would say IDW did the same thing with making RC trans.
Ah, you just gave it away. Oh. Yeah. That's another.
I think
that's another. The details of that are in another show. Let's not get too derailed.
I'm just gonna say, Simon Furman has a way of trolling.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Anyway, so yeah, Grimlock is just. Yeah, and this. Yeah, like I said, like that just. I just don't want to get us. Yeah, like I said, I just want to get us back on track. Stuff like that we can talk about that in another show. But yeah, so Grimlock. Yeah. Grimlock's starting to lose power. Energon losing his color, and yeah, it turns out. Turns out he actually can get angry enough to quit, or something. I don't know other way to put it.
They call it rage quit.
Yeah, he basically ran out of power. He can't keep going. All right, so flashback. Looks like Grimlock had a backup plan. So yeah. In the comics, yeah, like I said, this is kind of a shock if your only exposure to him is through the cartoons. In the comics, Grimlock is smart enough to actually plan ahead. He just prefers not to.
Also, the Dinobots were not created by Wheeljack.
No. Well, if you go by the War for Cybertron games, they were made by Shockwave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in most media, they were they've been part of the war the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, there was also animated where they were theme park attractions that were brought to life by fragments from the Allspark.
Boy,
You did not like that one?
there were things that I thought could have been done better.
All right, so yeah, Grimlock had a contingency plan in case they couldn't take out Shockwave, and that's having their ship blast him from space. Sort of. It blasts a volcano actually, and this really is a remake of that bit of that story from the Marvel comic.
Yep. Because it's the only way to make it the Dinobots having dinosaur modes makes sense.
Shockwave is missing. You will conduct a full and painstaking investigation into all Shockwave's current and archive projects. I want to know exactly what he was working on. Do you understand? Oh, completely. Yeah.
The thing is, he gave it to the assignment to another Decepticon that later became leader of the Decepticons.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Bludgeon was in charge for a while in the Marvel comics.
Yeah. Until he was killed by someone.
Someone being
Megatron.
Earth 2006, Eureka, Nevada. And a team of, I'm going to assume archaeologists, just found Shockwave.
Yeah.
So, what do we think of, what do we think of the Spotlight Shockwave?
It gave a decent origin story to Dinobots.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know whether or not. It just seems like they just rushed too quickly to explain or 13 where it came from. I mean, granted, we all pretty much, if anyone were familiar with the comics at the time,
Mm-hmm.
I'm certain everyone figured it was probably it was likely Shockwave.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that pretty much goes without saying. Do you think it fills in? So you don't think, like, as far as, like, explaining some of the background lore, it doesn't really do that good of a job?
It does a good job. It's just that it gave away a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta commend Furman for, like, how much he was able to pack into a single issue.
Oh yeah.
She, like,
It also the thing is, despite my issues with explaining the origin of Or 13 quickly, it did not feel rushed.
yeah, like, especially like North American comics at least, we are very used to decompressed storytelling, like having art stories kind of spread out across like 4 or 6 issues. Like that's been the norm for years. There's a kind of lost art to telling a single contained story within a single issue. It Although like I have to wonder like if I came into this blind, not knowing what, like kind of knowing only at most like the basics of the IDW universe, like what, like I picked this up when I feel like I'm expecting I feel like I'm expecting something that gets deeper into Shockwave. Wave as a character doesn't really do that, but that's not really what it's going for either. So, I do believe like later comics do sort of explore him more in depth, but if you can at least get behind that this thing is more meant to sort of explain certain background elements of the universe, or some kind of be a and sort of be a place to sort of explain. Well, actually, that's really all it mostly does. Like, I think that's what you told me. Like, the Spotlight series was less about exploring the characters and more about just filling in gaps, filling in story gaps that the other miniseries couldn't do, just because they didn't have room for them, right?
Or if you look at front with Revelation, they also could be used as as a cheaper alternative to the actual miniseries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I guess here's a good question. Does this comic do a good job representing Shockwave and the Dinobots? And on that front, it's excellent at that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's no surprise because Grimlock is his favorite character.
Yeah. Yeah, Simon Furman loves his Dinobots, and he especially loves Grimlock. So, how much of a must-own is it?
If you want the full story, it is absolutely a must-own.
All right. All right. So with that in mind, we're gonna move on to I guess what you could call our main attraction here. The Escalation miniseries, which is picking up essentially where Infiltration left off.
Yep.
Yeah. Good cover. Looks great. Not often you see Sunstreaker on the ropes, so not much else to say. I got a variant cover. I don't recognize the artist, but I'm sure the credits will explain that. But it's got Ironhide, Jimmy, and Verity. And I think we can assume whatever that is, it came from Sunstreaker. And the fact Hunter's not here probably tells us something. Oh wait, there's a signature here. Okay, I think that's Klaus Chervinsky. One without color. Yeah. Yeah, we're back. Yeah, back. I was right. Klaus Chervinsky. And yeah, we are back with having art by E.J. Sue.
Yep. He'll be back for Devastation as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, present
And
day.
I think that's
Sir.
the only other one.
Mm-hmm. All right. Present day Earth. The Decepticon infiltration gambit has begun. The opening moves made in a multi-layered strategy that may well spell the total and utter destruction of the planet. Having dispatched his traitors unit commander Starscream, Megatron has taken control of affairs on Earth. The discovery of Or-13, a potent variant of the long-exhausted Cybertronian power source known as Energon, meriting his personal attention. Now the local Autobot Tactical Response Unit from their hidden base beneath the surface of Lake Michigan and their newly arrived Commander-in-Chief Optimus Prime prepare for the worst. Phase 2 begins. This is how it goes down. On the open road, maybe just within some city limits somewhere, the target is isolated, immobilized. Then, of course, it was a training simulation. Oh, and the Machination is back in play.
Of course.
So in case if anyone wasn't paying attention, the Machination are a shadowy cabal of all of industrialists, scientists, and a bunch of other things looking to acquire or transformer technology. Gee, for what ends? I think we're gonna find out here.
Probably gonna be world domination. It's always world domination.
Or some... that or human evolution. God, that must be some high-tech RV if they've got a training simulator in there. So yeah, they've been keeping an eye on the Autobots, and it looks like Sunstreaker is going to be their bot of interest. As if the cover didn't already give that away. Or what? You're going back to your homes, your lives. But I thought we were part of this now. You kind of, I don't know, honorary Autobots? We don't want to go back wretched after all we've seen and done. How can we? Did they really do that? Did they really do okay, yeah, actually, yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did a lot.
Yeah.
They did so much and the fans complained about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remembered, like, they infiltrated the abandoned Decepticon base and found Megatron, so yeah, that's actually very big. They actually did something important. Unlike a certain other bit of Transformers media where the main human lead just kind of got dragged around and sort of
there.
Well, I was gonna say complained. Yes, I'm gonna take pot shots at Shia LaBeouf. And as Jimmy points out, they don't exactly have anything they can go back to.
Especially Hunter.
Yeah. Well, Verity definitely has 0 to go back to.
Oh, yeah. Well, later on, you find out that there is, but that's not the Verity of today.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're gonna argue that they're sticking around. They're not getting rid of them. But Ratchet doesn't think he can really do anything. So
Well, 3 humans, they're likely gonna go Swiss.
Yeah. And it looks like Verity's not really interested in sticking around because she's used to not being wanted.
Which is pretty sad, really.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back in Oregon, Megatron wants to know more about OR-13. It's basically Super Energon. And it turns out Earth is full of it.
I wonder where that came from.
We we just covered an entire comic about that.
Yep.
Little wonder Starscream saw fit to advance his own cause. Naturally occurring energon was assumed to be unique to energon. We've been living off artificial substitutes for longer than I care to remember. Still, one can't help but wonder if at some point in the history of this rock, evolution had a helping hand. Whatever the case.
Yeah, you know who.
Yeah, his name is Shockwave.
Yeah.
Its presence here could be decisive. Astro Train, I want a full tactical tour of the infiltration phase.
We are not getting the dumb Astro Train from the cartoon here.
Nope.
The one who tried turning an entire yard of train engines into his own fleet. And Sunstreaker's dealing with Runamuck and Runabout. And it's a game console. Imagine the ego required to design a console game and make yourself the star of the show.
I mean, that is Sunstreaker to the T.
It's strange to go to all the trouble of making us as comfortable as possible and kick us out. Now it's Jazz's hologram. So yeah. Is Jazz's hologram supposed to be Will Smith?
Oh, that is one way of making yourself incognito.
Like, I can't be the only one who sees that. Yeah. So it looks like they're being shown on the way out, and Verity's still having a mood. Jimmy says, as it's just a front, and was this another simulation? What the heck is going on here? Okay, so yeah, gang's all here. Ratchet, Ironhide, Sunstreaker. Kind of seems like he didn't want to be part of this. Oh, looks like Ironhide and Sunstreaker are going to be their rides out.
Yep, which is going to have not great consequences.
Yeah. And finally, Optimus. Prime. The humans are gone. Thank you, Prowl. It's important to maintain a healthy distance from any indignant species, especially when ultimately we may not be able to save them or their world.
Prowl, disturbing news has just reached me. It would seem from partially deconstructed files reclaimed from Bludgeon's data well on Cybertron, we are not the first Cybertronians to set foot on Earth. Jetfire found historical reference to both Shockwave and Soundwave. The question is, where are they now? Somehow I get the feeling that gets answered in Spotlight Soundwave.
Yeah.
Yep, Machination is gonna go for Sunstreaker. They've got his vehicle mode on their scanners. Oh, no wait, they've also got Ironhide.
But since I'm pretty sure the movie's out now, so
yeah,
Ironhide is not considered to be on the death radar.
True. And yeah, actually, yeah, this is. Oh crap! I actually did not look that. I actually forgot to look this up. Like when was the year this was published? Because this was something that came up in the last two. In the last two two episodes. Sorry.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. Infiltration and Stormbringer were a little too early to be able to take advantage of the hype around the movie, but Escalation. So it started publishing in November 2006 and ended in April 2007. So that's around when hype was starting to build, I think.
Yep.
And I don't remember paying much attention, but it was gonna be a foregone conclusion that Optimus was gonna be in it. You can't have a Transformers movie without Optimus, as Hasbro learned the hard way.
Yeah, and I remember the controversy around the Flames.
Yeah. Yeah, but do you remember, did they sort of have all the Autobots more or less locked in at that point? Like, was that public knowledge?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was around 2006 when they started pushing the marketing.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a movie they're doing, but also a toy line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. They are going to start following them.
Huh.
They spelled St. Louis wrong. There's
always gonna be. Go on.
There's supposed to be an O there.
Well, there's always gonna be a typo somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, geez, I have to. And again, I have to wonder, like, how zoomed out is this map supposed to be? Because look how close Memphis is.
Well, being British, I don't think Thurman knows the different distances all that well.
I mean, it's zoomed out enough you can see the lower peninsula of Michigan. Yeah. Okay, so we got a semi and an SUV. And Sunstreaker is breaking the speed limit.
Of course.
Bad enough. Sorry.
So much for incognito.
Bad enough I gotta share my upholstery with a species that sheds skin on a regular basis, but now I gotta supersize the experience? So where to? Tulsa, Oklahoma. What's there? My life. Oh man, Hunter's from Oklahoma?
No wonder he's depressed.
But the only thing I know about Oklahoma is that they're in a rivalry with Texas. At least with Ohio, I get it. Like, God, Ohio, there's like no, like there's. I've been to Ohio. Like, there's literally nothing out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just.
Thus far, your general performance has been underwhelming at best, borderline treasonous at worst. That is all going to change. I am willing to forgive and forget certain indiscretions, but there will be no further second chances. Is that plainly understood?
Yep, they get it.
On a more positive note, Starscream, whatever his other agenors has laid the necessary foundations with the precision and flair. We can begin Phase 2 immediately. Astrotrain, activate the facsimiles.
So, we're gonna have to bring up something we briefly touched on in Infiltration. What was the... How does Decepticon infiltration work again?
Basically, they create clones to destabilize the world.
There's a town in Michigan called Lebanon.
I think so. I mean, there's a Sparta, Michigan, and a Hell, Michigan.
I know about Sparta. I know that's where Michigan State is, isn't it?
No, that's Lansing.
Oh. No, yeah, of course it's Lansing. Let's see. There's also a Troy, Michigan, and a Holland, Michigan.
Yep.
What a... I think I've only been to Holland once. I don't remember if there were how Dutch it really is, though.
Huh.
So, they got let's say they got autonomous drones too, and they're gonna duck and weave through traffic. They're gonna gridlock the highway. Which is bad because they've stopped Sunstreaker in his tracks.
Well, as it turns out, they're not going home anytime soon.
Yeah. And Ironhide is right to suspect that this is really an accident. Because now they're checking out the smoke bombs. And they're jamming the comms. And Ironhide has decided we're leaving. But he doesn't seem to really care about damaging other people's cars. He'll just hope he's...
I mean, he's not human, so he's got... What's going to happen? Police pull him over?
I get that, but it's like, come on, there's people in those cars. I understand priorities, but... Yeah, well, anyway. Operators are making their move. Ironhide's trying to get to Sunstreaker. And landmines.
Don't you just love how Machination... booby traps everything?
Yep. So, Hunter says get them out of there. Let's see how he does it. Looks like Sunstreaker's plan is like open fire, and Hunter saying, how about transform instead? Too late. They've, because it looks like they've taken Sunstreaker out, and about the only thing Ironhide can do is try to run for the hills.
Yeah.
And they can't see anything. Okay, actually, no, Ironhide's not trying to run away, he's trying to get to Sunstreaker, but... looks like they're too late. So yeah, issue 2, some Machination guys taking on Wheeljack, although I doubt that's what's... and Jazz 2. Is that... what am I saying? Of course that's gonna happen. They're not gonna tease us like that. Washington, 9 months ago. And I'm going to... James Garfield statue. Interesting, because I caught a couple of clips on YouTube of a Netflix miniseries called Death by Lightning, which was about the assassination of James Garfield. I think it was Garfield in that one. About the other thing that really stood out about it to me was that they casted Nick Offerman in it as Chester Arthur. It's actually pretty good. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb and say this is how the Machination got started.
Yeah. They have to go through some kind of backstory for them.
Yeah. Or at least, actually, no. This might have been one of the first people that the Decepticons abducted. Actually. Oh, now they spell St. Louis correct.
Actually, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember that they're trying to protect the Autobots are trying to protect one of the facsimiles so they can get an idea of what the Decepticons are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, Ironhide from the top. Prime, I'm not sure I have much to add to my original report, but if you think it will help, I do. Okay, Sunstreaker and I were en route to Tulsa. We're just outside of Lebanon, Missouri.
Oh! It wasn't Michigan, it was Missouri.
Okay.
I am retarded!
Well, to be fair, they both start with MI.
They have a yeah, but they have a... Yeah, actually, no, the letter are fucked up on this one, because Missouri has a different abbreviation from Michigan, so you don't get them mixed up. Michigan is MI, Missouri is MO.
I just love it when they do that.
Speaking from experience, guys, I'm just going to tell you, if you're an American comic creator, you're better off not using the state abbreviations, because there's a pretty good chance foreign readers are not going to know this.
Yeah. Also, Simon Furman is British. He's probably not gonna know that.
Yeah.
No difference.
Yeah, well, still, I mean, like, if the letterer is American, they should have caught that, unless... you know what? You know what? I doubt most Americans could pick Lebanon, Missouri off a map.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a dumb mistake, but I get how it happened. Okay. We encounter what appeared at first look to be some kind of multiple automotive accident. It wasn't. The accident had been engineered by humans armed with highly sophisticated weaponry. Sunstreaker was isolated and targeted. I attempted to reach him, but was too late. Any chance at all he was still functional? None. Where they hit him with was hardcore there. Wasn't much left. The remains in a police compound, Jazz, here in Springfield. Is that the Springfield from The Simpsons? Good question. Turns out there's about 40 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, okay. So yeah, everything's going to shit. Verity and Jimmy are upset, and Ironhide, of course, wants to be Ironhide, and Ironhide and go kick somebody's ass. And Optimus's hologram does not look like Peter Cullen.
Honestly, that's probably the weirdest part. Missed opportunities.
I think there's a later comic that does that, though. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, why? Yeah, I want to know the reason behind, because it's like, why not? Oh, yeah. Verity is on the toilet crying. Cause yeah. Decepticons are plotting. Skywarp and Thundercracker are going out. Headed for a nuclear plant. Oh God. Please work Mr. Burns into this. That would be funny. Now they blow it up. Oh, it was that nuclear plant wasn't in America.
Huh.
Actually, now that I think about it, that does look kind of deserty, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to start a war by getting America blamed for it. We're taking advantage of fragile geopolitical tensions. Which, for Decepticons, that is actually very brilliant. Really, instead of just, you know, rolling through and trying to conquer everything, ain't like they're the fucking Mongols.
Yeah.
I mean, for the G1 cartoon, that was fine. And like, I mean, were they kind of more or less doing the same thing in the Marvel comic?
Yeah.
Yeah. For that time, that was fine. But yeah, kind of adapting them for the times. That's also like that's getting a little creative.
I think Furman's having a lot of fun with this story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shall I?
With Phase 2 set in motion, I should simply withdraw and install a new commander. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt to linger a while longer, if nothing else to try out this intriguing new exostructure. I wonder, where shall I play?
That looks like, Japan?
Huh.
Does that? Does that? Like, where? Does that look like Japan? I don't know.
Let's see.
Okay, like, you see it, right? You see it right on the globe, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It does kind of look like it, but also doesn't.
Well, man, I'm not expecting, like, EJ2 to be able to draw it 100% accurate, but, you know, just enough that I can tell what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
All right, let me have a let's see what it looks like on an actual map. Shit, this is taking a while to load in. Okay, here we are. All right, images. I need to. Okay, I need to be more specific and. Okay. Yeah, I'm going with it. That's Japan. It's not 100%, but it looks close enough. I mean, if Megatron's gonna go on a rampage. Meanwhile, back with the Autobots and our remaining humans. And Jimmy thinks it might have been in the facsimiles. And we're also getting we're also getting a rundown on what they are and what they do. Turns oh my god, they don't even know they're artificial? Dude. Where do you think Simon Furman got that from?
Huh.
2006, what popular science fiction property was airing on TV at the time?
A specific one on Sci-Fi Channel.
That was
Made by
Ron Moore.
Made by. Yep.
That was rebooting an old sci-fi property from the 70s. That also involved evil robots. With this one having ones that were so like humans, you couldn't even tell them apart, and they didn't even know it until their programming kicked in.
Striking a resemblance to Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way he didn't get that from it. Oh, facsimiles are prone to misfunction, and when they do... Yeah. Also, Verity's realizing that the thing she saw on Infiltration was a facsimile. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, wait, actually, that was the original person. That was the
Horrifyingly enough.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, it turns out facsimiles are prone to malfunctioning, and when they do, Decepticons just make more of them. So it's like, that's just like the Cylons in Battlestar Galactica.
Except that they were all sent out.
I mean, didn't they do that? I mean, didn't they do that in Battlestar Galactica too?
No. What I'm talking about is they had backups ready for when the facsimiles, the Decepticons did. Those facsimiles and have the backups for them when they broke down. Battlestar Galactica just had them all out in the open.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, there was just a... I mean, it was kind of a way to... It was kind of a way so that if they killed off a particular character and they found out they were a Cylon, they didn't have to get rid of the actor.
Unless they were part of a certain group of Cylons that apparently didn't have backups because they were based on the originals.
Yeah. If you got to like I think season 4 of Battlestar Galactica, you know who we're talking about.
It got extremely convoluted.
And weird. Very, very weird.
Yeah.
So
honestly, I think Ron Moore's overrated.
Boo. Anyway. Ironhide suspects that Megatron's trying to goad them into attacking. And phase 2, destabilize geopolitics even more than they already are enough that there's like a whole world war to take out the human race. It's making it easy for them to just extract all the resources from the planet. I mean, they don't tell us that, but we know that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's always the end result.
Yeah.
Take resources.
Yeah. So, Springfield. Look, I know this isn't going to be the Springfield from The Simpsons, but please let me see Chief Wiggum. That'll be funny. It won't make sense, but it would be funny.
I think that's the reason why it won't be in there.
I know. But when am I ever going to get a chance to do a Chief Wiggum voice in a Simpsons, in a Transformers comic? Anyway, Jazz and Wheeljack are going to try breaking into the impound lot. Which is something that actually happened in a Simpsons episode.
Huh.
Yeah, the Lemon of Troy. You don't remember that episode?
Oh, I know.
I mean, so Jazz transforms, cuts open the fence, and we got a dead human. No, wait, the dog is dead. The human's just out cold, which means they're not alone.
Yeah.
And I think Jazz and Wheeljack found the Machination. So, is this a private party or can anyone crash? If you're or who did this to Sunstreaker, there will be hell to pay. That's an odd thing to aim for Wheeljack to say.
Well, that's if you're going to buy the G1 cartoon.
Let me guess. He's also different in the comic.
I think they all have got different personalities in the comic.
I think there's a couple ones that are more or less the same, just with slight differences.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Machination is just gonna fight back. They got immobilizers and rocket. Well, no, wait, the mobilizers are on the rockets. Like they take out Wheeljack and Jazz and. Well. Okay, no, they're not out yet, and seems like Wheeljack has got a crazy plan, because that's what he does.
Of course, that's one thing that stays constant. Wheeljack and his wacky plans.
Yeah. So he shoots the immobilizer off of Jazz, freeing him. But they've got a rocket launcher. Or a mortar launcher. Actually, yeah, I think that might be a mortar launcher. Which is going to be enough to take them out. At least out of the fight.
Yeah.
And they can make off with Sunstreaker's remains. And the Machination's gone, and they got nothing to show for it. And they were even smart enough to erase all the evidence.
Yep. Imagine that. A human antagonist that's actually smart. In Transformers.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that because, like, aside from the Machination, like, there was also what's his face from G1 who was really not as smart as he thought he was. There were also those mech guys from Prime. The idea of them was cool. The idea of them was cooler than what they actually did. And I just remembered the name of the villain from the human villains from Earthspark. It was a guy called Mandroid. I have no comment because I did not watch Earthspark and I have no intention of doing so.
Yeah. I don't either.
Yeah. And they just ran into Optimus. And the car's not even Sunstreaker. It's just a car.
It just feels like a convoluted plan on Machination's part.
Well, I mean, leaving a decoy behind is a smart thing.
Yeah.
Although Prowl's actually seems to be thinking the same thing you are, because he's asking why the elaborate interception and cover-up. Because, Prowl, they knew that the only way we'd stop looking for Sunstreaker is if we thought he was already dead. The real question is who? Strangely, I almost hope it is the Decepticons, because if it is humans, if they already know this much about us, we're more exposed than we've ever been. So, the stakes just got even higher. Because not only are we dealing with the Decepticons, now we're also dealing with human villains who are actually a threat to the Autobots.
Which is a strange concept when you think about it.
Oh, you don't think that should be you don't think that should be a thing?
Oh, I think it should be a thing. because there's always going to be the human component to the villains, to having villains, or at the very least, we'd have at least something involved to fight Cybertronians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but now that really puts the Autobots up against the wall, because it's not just the Decepticons they have to watch out for; they also have to watch out for humans too.
Yep.
This was something Transformers Animated actually was pretty good at. Had like a rotating rogues gallery outside of the cons. So, yeah, did that?
Yeah.
I wonder if that 2006. If that's supposed to be Dick Cheney, that would be very funny. Alrighty, Jimmy, good news. It appears that the Lebanon interception was some kind of intricate sleight of hand. There's a chance, however faint, that Hunter's still alive. Oh, it says Alexander Holt. Okay, now that's not Dick Cheney.
I'd imagine it'd be a Dick Cheney stand-in.
Yeah, if they're going to that much trouble to name drop him, this guy's going to be important in another way. Especially considering they're watching him in the background. And I think this might have been the guy that the cons were watching earlier in the series. Which means I'm calling it this guy's a facsimile. Because he's also talking about how the U.S. needs to get involved. All because security of U.S. business interests and global energy shortage. Which when politicians talk like that, that's code for we're gonna go to war.
Oh, absolutely. Dick Cheney, George W. Bush, those would be the Decepticons' favorite politicians.
They would have God, they would have fucking loved John McCain, too. Alright, issue 3 cover has Blitzwing and some guy with the original Megatron pistol. That's a nice touch.
Yep.
Looks like he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world. Breakaway Soviet state of Bosnia. Do I dare do a comically insensitive Russian accent?
See, it doesn't seem like that'd be politically incorrect.
Oh, gee, where are you going? It's rumors of a deal between the Federalists and Moscow mean that now more than ever the others need reassurance. No action. We've lost too many good people. We can't just roll over. Alexei, who said anything about rolling over? We fight to the bitter end for what is ours by birthright. As for action, trust me when I say it's coming. They'd probably also like the Decepticons would also probably like Vladimir Putin.
Oh, absolutely.
And now, your insignificant little war is about to escalate into a full-blown international incident. When we are done here, Georgie Koska, the world will be forever changed.
Somebody is going nuts over the fact that some not Russian guy is working with the Decepticons. Wait a minute. That looks like an oil pipeline. If this goes where I think it does, Transformers might have predicted the Nord Stream pipeline getting blasted. So.
Well, it'd also be a logical target for the Decepticons.
Huh. Okay, so apparently Megatron's also got an ability to change his size when he transforms into gun mode. Oh! This guy is a facsimile, isn't he?
Yep.
And why else would Megatron be talking to him? They blew up the pipeline! They predicted the Nord Stream pipeline getting blasted. I was right! Back in Lake Michigan. Reinforcements? I don't understand. Sure, the stakes are higher, the opposition a lot tougher, but with you here, we can handle this. I disagree. This is not a reflection on your command, Prowl. Earth has simply graduated from peripheral to pivotal. One false move from here on in, and we might all pay the price. But it's already done. With Megatron active on Earth and Sunstreaker MIA, I had no choice but to pull resources from elsewhere. I do not do so lightly. I thought Prowl was supposed to be the pragmatic one.
Well, sometimes he can be a little not so much.
Yeah.
But I think his pragmatism is based on what he knows at the time.
Still, I mean, like, he basically has to know more or less the same, more or less what Optimus knows, and that, like, things have gotten a lot more serious, so... Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're going to... So, yeah, Prowl puts everyone to work, but Ironhide, they're gonna have a talk. Oh, what's for technical problem? That's a sabotage! Go done immediately before. They seem to have forgotten where the border is. Remind them. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe I called it. Anyway, wreaking havoc with Megatron because, yeah, even tiny, he's super powerful. Soviets? If this is supposed to be present day, this should be Russian. Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore. So why is Jimmy wanting to look over the decoy?
He's the mechanic of the group. He's got to have something to contribute.
Or, like, pointing out that the chassis is built from an ultralight alloy that is made to ensure maximum decimation, and there's only 3 domestic manufacturers of it. Which narrows down who they have to look for.
Oh, we have human characters that need to do something, and it means that they can't be useless. Unlike some other human characters in Transformers.
Yeah, for the record, Shia LaBeouf isn't even the worst, if you can believe that.
But he is the most annoying.
You have not seen Kicker and Energon.
At least he doesn't scream every 5 seconds.
No, there's just episodes of him being a complete shithead about Transformers, and there's like, trust me, I think like I'm not gonna be a Shia LaBeouf defender, but trust me, Kicker is so much worse. But he is the, but. I'll say this much. I can probably buy the argument that I can probably buy your argument just by the fact that we had to deal with him. We had to deal with him more. We had to deal with Shia LaBeouf more.
Yeah, plus as a character, he was completely unserious.
Mm-hmm.
When you got what's supposed to be a serious story, I don't think the main character should be so comically stupid.
Yeah. Like, is it any wonder why they swapped him out for Mark Wahlberg later? Sadly though, he was put in the worst movies of that series, though, so it's not like it really evened anything out.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, Ratchet's got... Verity and Jimmy are giving Ratchet an idea. He knows it's gonna piss off Prowl, but... really, who cares?
And also, what doesn't piss off Prowl in this one?
Mm-hmm. Oh, now they say Russians. You get it. Come on, Simon, go for it. Put in Vladimir Putin. It'll be... You know you want to. And of course... Say what?
I really don't think he would. Granted, he did have those weird stories where he criticized feminists by having them be completely upset about the Autobots placating them with RC, and them complaining about RC being pink. Despite the fact that RC also saved the Autobots in that same story.
That issue is... Okay, I've never read it, but what I've heard about it is it's kind of remembered for being pretty cringy.
Yeah.
So
This is why I'm glad he doesn't... I'm glad he's not weighing in political figures.
Basically, Simon Furman's at his worst when he's trying to make a point.
Yep.
Yeah. Although I'll say he probably...
Fortunately, he realized that he does get ham-fisted with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he probably would have gotten away. Probably would have gotten away with it too. I mean, like at the time, I don't think Putin was exactly in everybody's good graces even back then.
No.
Anyway, Autobots are monitoring the situation. And they know the Decepticons are behind it. Because they just saw the blast.
Megatron.
And they're wondering if it's OR-13. And it looks like they're gonna go and get into the fight. Are they gonna de-escalate things? Okay, there we are. Alright, yep. Okay, so yeah, sorry for this abrupt end, guys. When we were going for like about 2 hours, and
I really got into this comic.
yeah. Yeah, we did. We really did. Okay, so yeah, we will pick up. Yeah, we'll finish up Escalation next week. Just by itself, or is there anything else we're gonna? Just by itself, Matt?
Well, we could probably toss in a couple of the spotlights.
All right.
We are pretty close to the end of Escalation.
Okay, then yeah. All right, so, you guys will know once I get the next week's show set up. But yeah, Escalation will be having a part 2 plus some more spotlight issues. Until then, we'll see you guys
Later.